have goals you're trying to achieve, you want to build a better mindset, or you just simply want to elevate, then stand by. This is Cultivation.
Welcome to Cultivation. These are growth talks from a veteran. I'm your host, Tony Tone. If you're new to this podcast, this is the Big Picture Series. The Big Picture Series is a series of topics that I've designed to motivate and encourage people to elevate their lives. In this episode, I want to share my thoughts and cook up some ideas of the life that you want to live. Hopefully, everybody's doing well today, and hopefully, this will help you or somebody you know. And if you like this episode, please share it to a friend. Thank you in advance for your time. If you give me a few minutes of your time, I promise I won't waste it. I won't waste it. I'm even going to share one of my best go to moves that I use to win and to keep on winning. Now, in this podcast, I'm not a life guru. I'm just not afraid to share my experience. And my experience can be applied whether you're military or you're civilian. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your feedback. I appreciate your time. If you're watching on YouTube, drop me a like and also subscribe while you're watching this video. And then later, share, leave me a comment. It really helps me because it helps me to stay creative, right? Because I'm going to come clean. Most of these episodes, I rarely get them from somebody who want to know my thoughts on a particular topic. And so keep that coming, keep that feedback coming so I can keep on making some content for y'all. Keep the feedback coming whether it's good or it's bad. Check me out on your favorite podcast directories. Thank you everybody. All right. Thank you for everybody that downloaded the episode. See you out there. Thank y'all. I appreciate y'all. I got the links in my descriptions for you to easily find. But that's enough for me for right now. Remember, everybody deployed, reach out to your loved ones in the military. Send them a letter, send them a care package, something, right? Military folk, they like monsters. They like beef jerky. So send them that. You'll make their day, for real. And thank you for your service, for all the veterans out there. I'm happy to serve right along with you. Yep, that's right. I'm a veteran too, right? I'm a Chief Petty Officer of the United States Navy. I know, I know. I don't look like it, but I'm on leave, so chill out. And I know I don't talk like the average chief, but I get busy and I get results, right? And the Navy is all about diversity, so salute to you, right? If you mad, you mad. Now, episode 19, we talking about the ideas that you want to live, right? When I first joined the Navy, I thought to myself, the life I want to live, I want to know my job. I want to be the best at it. I want to take care of my family, make sure my children are financially straight, and at least make the rank of E4 by the 12-year mark. Yeah, I know. It was a simple plan, right? I'm a simple man, though. Years later, my idea of the life I want to live, it just came to pass, right? Some of them areas have come to pass. Since I've been in the Navy, and even when I worked in the civilian world, though, I can say I was never, ever really trained to think about uh, having ideas of the life I wanted to live. And nowadays, at least in my organization, there's not too many people that's willing to get people to think about that type of stuff. And I'm sure it's just like that everywhere you work, you know? And why is that? I'm not really sure. But I think it has something to do with keeping people in line with the organization's best interest, for real. Here's the problem with that, though. There are more and more people unhappy with their jobs and their careers than ever before. That's because you bosses, you managers, you leaders, y'all robbing them from professional and personal development. People, they being blinded and discouraged from wanting to live a certain lifestyle. And not enough leaders have the balls to tell them to go ahead and picture the lives that they want to live and go out there and get it. And I get it. People will elevate and they'll eventually leave, right? But your remedy is to keep them unhappy and suppressed. And then they're gonna produce some A1 performance? Nah. Somebody message me if that has ever worked, right? 'Cause I've never seen that. But I believe that if you put people in the workplace's mind free, right? If you let their mind go free, you'll find that they're able to do a lot to benefit their organization, right? There's always the chance that they're going to elevate and leave the organization, as they should if they elevate, right? But there's a chance for bigger and better things to happen, right? There's so much potential in a lot of people, right? So much potential to have them create and leave experiences that reproduce on its own. And that's the power of people's minds. Let me get off my soapbox, though. Let me get off my soapbox. But before we continue, I want to say that you have the permission to have ideas about the life that you want to live. If anybody got a problem with that, tell them Chief told you. They'll be all right. Now, has this ever happened to anybody before? Has this ever happened to you? One day, I'm sitting on the couch, early morning, about to start one of them fine Navy days, you know. And it's like my mind, it just went offline for a little bit. I know some that's close to me probably like, well, that always happened to you. But no, I'm talking about like the whole knowledge of your life, it just goes blank and it's gone. It's just gone. And as my consciousness come back, it's like my life had a reboot or a download back to my brain. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, so I'm a guy, live in this house. I'm wearing camouflage, green camouflage. Okay, I'm in the army. Wait a second. All right, U.S. Navy. Okay, all right. I got this anchor here. Guess that's my rank. And then upload complete. Then everything just comes rushing back to me. And I'm like, son, not again. I do not feel like going to work today. Jesus. Now I'm sitting in the car for like a whole hour before work start because I don't want to go and deal with them rude damn people. Don't. Has that ever happened to anybody before? Yeah, I'm sure. When the reality of the life that you live come crushing back to you, are you good with that? Are you content with where you want to be? Maybe, maybe not, right? But the ideas of the life we want to live, we're going to talk about some things that can help you develop the ideas that you want to live. First, we're going to cover some of the most important decisions that you should make. Next, we're going to talk about some super, super important tips that you should be using. And then last, we're going to talk about the power of visualization. And I'm telling you, using these gems, they're going to really help you come up with ideas for the life that you want to live. Trust me. Now, the first one, important internal decisions. Now, the first of the internal decisions that you need to make is you need to love the life that you have now. You are someone. You are someone. And the life that you have, loving that life is going to help you to level up. And if you don't love your life, you're not going to do what it takes to improve it. And after a while, the idea of the life you want to live is not going to come to pass and it's going to be your fault. And God, the universe, logic, practicality, or whatever you believe in will normally not increase your life's value if you don't love or take care of you. Seriously. And if you love your life, you'll do everything required to feed that life, to groom that life, to grow that life. Basically, put, if you love your life now, you work with what you have and you'll improve what you currently have. And this is how you get to live the life you want to live. Love what you have now. If you struggle with loving the life you have now, I know it's going to be hard to do that sometimes, especially if in a situation you don't ever think would improve. In this case, though, you need to set up some counseling from either your church personnel a mental health professional, someone you trust to mentor you, somebody that motivates you, get you a mindset coach or something, watch motivational videos, etc. Stuff like that. You can always reach out to me too, but whatever you do, don't just go just to listen to people, man. Go with a mind to take action. Don't play yourself and waste your time and waste other people's time, right? You listening and advice, crying. Thank you so much. I needed to hear this.
I ain't listening to nothing he talking about.
And the whole time, you ain't even trying to listen to that, man. You know you're not going to listen to that. People like that, man, I swear they need to be slapped. Next up, think about others. You want to live a better life for your loved ones, your children, your legacy. Have you ever been in a situation where you really, really wanted to help somebody and you just couldn't? And how'd that make you feel? Like a real hero, right? Yeah, right. A lot of times in my career, thinking about my loved ones, thinking about my sailors, that was the thing that got me to the towards the path of a bigger picture, man. But sometimes it be hard. Sometimes your regard for others is the fuel that you need. It's the fuel that you need to push through obstacles, push through being unmotivated, desiring more. Now, speaking of desire, let's talk about desire or ambition. Let's talk about the desire to extend life. When I was younger, I had an issue with my partner at the time, man. Always had an issue, right? And she despised my lack of ambition, right? I had none. Me, I wanted a better life. Trust me, I did, but I didn't possess that drive. I mean, it was something that we fought about often, something that was clearly a problem in my relationship. Yet, I couldn't find a desire to expand my life. Growing ranks in the military, though, it did help me, and soon I started to embrace what I wanted to do out of life. And I started to take off and experience that energy and that happiness. And nobody, they will ever teach you desire. Nobody will ever teach you desire. Join the military, learn desire. Nope, not gonna happen. Work at Amazon, we'll teach you desire. Nope. Come join the Calgary Mount Zion, burning bush holy temple of the chosen ones from the United Regiment of the Army of the Lord. Baptist Church, we'll teach you desire. Nope. You can't be taught desire. Desire comes from you and you alone. Now, let's go on the super important tips that you should be using. So, one of my favorite tips is learning from successful people. Now, my brother David, he's a fellow chief in the Navy now. Um, we got to talking one day about his house. He had to do a repair to a window in his house. And as we talked, I found myself asking question after question until he tells me like it's not his only house and how being a homeowner was a lot easier than he thought, right? He went on to tell me lessons that him and his wife learned in home ownership. After a while, some co-workers came, right? And they was on the watch floor and they started hating on the low. I can't even lie, man. I heard them too. It was like, so so he got 7 houses, huh? Okay. And he must have heard them because he goes to Bank of America. You know, he's from Jersey. Jersey people like to show off sometimes, right? So you go to Bank of America and Google Maps and all this stuff, start pulling out all types of paperwork. Bro had 7 houses in his name. One of them, he had a mansion. After that, I said, look, man, I never owned a house before, but please put me on. Help me learn how to buy a house. When I want to do something successfully, I got to admit, man, I just ask successful people how they do it. This is where you learn all about their experiences, their successes, their failures, their resources, everything. But we complicate that part. And that conversation is easy as, hey, excuse me, can you tell me where the bathroom is? that easy, right? We complicate it though. We make our lives hard by saying we're gonna do this or we're gonna do that. We don't want no help. We don't want nobody to hang stuff over our heads. But when you thinking like that, you're not ready to be successful when you're thinking like that. One thing I learned from being around David was I could be motivated to actually buy a house. And I was fueled no matter how much money I had, no matter how much the house cost, no matter what my credit might have looked like at the time. What happened? Ended up with a really nice house. Big damn trees, but nice house. And shout out to Roslyn Levy, best real estate agent in Norfolk, Virginia. You ever want to get a house, you need to get with her, man. I'm telling you. All right, moving on. Another tip that I have is to write it out. And write it out, that's a way to visualize what you want to do. And we're going to get into detail on visualization later. But for right now, I want you to think on this thought, right? What do you see when you think about the big picture of your life? What are you doing in the next 5 years? The next 5 years. What are you wearing? Are you still working at the same job? You open up your own business? Maybe you decided to pursue that dream job, right? So what's your position there? Oh, wait. You the boss now, right? You the boss. Yeah, you the boss, ain't you? Yeah, I know. The beautiful thing about writing it out, you can write whatever you want. You can make it as concise as necessary. And then you can go and do that if you believe that, right? If you believe that, yes, you can do that. And speaking of believing, it's super important. This tip right here. And it brings me to focusing on the best case scenario. Now, the best case scenario, that's something you should always focus on when you're thinking about the future of the life you want to live. The worst case scenario, that's for people who are too afraid to grow, man. The worst case scenario is for people who don't mind taking no for a final answer. Only focus on the best possible outcome because that'll help you to generate multiple positive expected outcomes, right? Best case scenarios help you stay in the game longer, help you build the most knowledge and experience. And with the mindset of going for the best case scenario, right? A closed door it becomes a direction instead of rejection. A no, it becomes a not right now. Or a no, it becomes no, but dot. When you focus on the best things that can happen, this builds hope and it nourishes people around you, man. Think about a person who is strong minded and also presses for the best outcomes. Those people around them feed off that energy. So focus on the best case scenario. Something to help you focus on the best case scenario is the power of visualization. So, with visualization, this is my go to move that I use. This is my go to move right here I use to keep on winning. When you think about success and the life you want to live, one thing you need to think about is actually thinking about success. Now, hold up. I know you didn't get that. If we was face to face right now, you'd be like, right, and have no idea what I'm talking about. I'm talking about visualizing winning, seeing every move before you actually make it. In my Navy career, I had almost 15 sailor of the quarter and year boards, right? And boards to me, they basically like interviews. My first few, it was kind of shaky, right? That was back before I started applying all this stuff, right? My first one, they asked me a question I didn't understand. And I'm like, fuck. And basically, they was like, get out. But nah, I was instantly disqualified. Another board, man, I had, like, I came up in there, man. I couldn't take my hat off right. I'm sitting there slipping all over the place. When I left, I almost fell. I knew that board. I felt it instantly, right? I talk about it in episode 7, man, when I was unimpressive. Go check that episode if you want to know what I'm talking about, man. But when I got it together, man, this was my winning formula right here. As much time as I had for the boards, I would first picture how I wanted to come in the room and leave the room. That's the first thing. How many steps I would take, which way I would turn, which foot I would use, all those details. And I would practice them physically while I was on a ship, wherever I was, right? And then when I was in my rack, I would still go at it in my head until I fell asleep. And in times where I couldn't have, when I had trouble sleeping or whatnot, I went for hours, right? Next, I would internalize what I wanted to say and how I wanted to say it. When I got in those bars, though, I wasn't talking like this because let's be honest, right? I would have lost. They'd be like, thank you. Try next time, homeboy. Yeah, it's a lot of trolls in the Navy, right? They think everything funny, right? Now, sailors, we have this creed, right? The sailor's creed. And I thought it was important to deliver mine different from the way everybody else did it. They all do the same thing. The whole, I, am a United States sailor, I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States of America, and I will obey the orders of those appointed over me. Like real G.I. Joe. Like they just fiending. The real G.I. Joe, like they jacked up on something. I never really liked that. But I said, how would Denzel or Obama do it? That's how I want to do it. Because to me, those are the best speakers, man. I like the way they talk. And that's how I delivered it pretty much. And I also trained and mentored sailors on that same thing. And yes, they did win these boards. They did win them, right? You could, I mean, I got evidence of that, right? So if you want to hear my version of it, right? Reach out to me. If enough people reach out, want to see or hear it, let me know because I'm telling you, I'll body it. I'll body it. I always do, right? So like, share, comment, message, anything. Let me know you listening, and I might just treat y'all and let y'all hear mine or let y'all see mine. Now, with me visualizing the process, right? With me visualizing the process and the wins and whatnot, like when I was taking these boards and stuff, right? Two things happened for me. Now, one, in my mind, I did the boards at least 100 times, and I won at least 100 times. And then two, I wasn't as nervous because I knew what I was going to do even before I knew what I was going to do, right? And that set me apart from everybody else because when they got in there, man, they had random plans and they were just coming in letting the chips fall where they may. When me, I came in, I was holding all the chips, man. Man, I should be charging for this, man. Give me $20, man. Give me some gas money, man. I should be charging for this. But anyway, visualization is so powerful, man. So powerful because it gives you the ability to mentally produce whatever it is that you want to produce, right? And I promise you, if you apply these things that we talked about, you'll be able to develop the ideas of the life that you want to live. Because we chopped it up about some of the most important decisions you should be making, right? So you can clearly see your ideas. We talked about some super, super important tips that you should be using to save time and some brain cells. And then we talked about the power of visualization, which gives you an advantage in anything. It gives you an edge in anything in life you want to do. Trust me. All right. So now I just want you to go forth and do great things. And I know you will. Go develop the ideas of the life that you want to live. And if anybody have a problem with that, tell them Chief told you to go do it. They'll be all right. Now, if you're new to this episode, you're new to the series, you're new to cultivation, there's no questions or challenges this week. Usually, I have a question or a challenge for the episode, but not one this week. But if you haven't already, go check out my last video. While you at it, go check out another video, right? Leave some feedback on that. Leave some feedback for videos. If there's a certain topic that you want me to talk about or address, please send it to me and I'll work my hardest to deliver some content that's good for all of us to enjoy. I promise. And then tune in for the next episode. The next episode, we're gonna talk again about the big picture series, right? We talking about the vision of what the coming year can be for you. Okay, so thank you so much for your time. Remember everybody deployed. Remember your loved ones in the military that's deployed. Reach out to them. Send them some monsters. Send them some beef jerky. They would be happy. I'm telling you, I'm telling you. This is Cultivation. Download this and more episodes on your favorite podcast directories. Comment, like, share, subscribe, add me on Twitter, and get with me for free advice whenever you need it. Thank you all so much for your support. Thank you. Now, no further entries this page. Tony Tone,